Most made-for-TV horror movies normally aren't considered to be that good, and perhaps most of them are. But one that is definitely worth looking at is 1981's Dark Night of the Scarecrow. Set in a small southern town, a young man named Bubba befriends a young girl named Mary Lee. Many of the townspeople dislike the closest of them, most notably being the town's postman, Otis. When Mary Lee is attacked by a vicious dog and lies unconscious, Otis presumes Bubba has murdered her, when actually he saved her life. Otis then forms a lynch mob with 3 of his friends, gas station attendant Skeeter and farmers Philby and Harless. They soon discover Bubba pretending to be a scarecrow, and the 4 men act fast, firing multiple rounds killing him. Soon after they discover the truth that Mary Lee is still alive, thanks to Bubba. Otis then places a pitchfork in Bubba's lifeless hands to make it appear that he was attacking them, and the 4 men are released due to lack of evidence in court. And the following day, Harless finds a scarecrow in his field, the very one that Bubba was hidden in. With no sign as to who put it there, paranoia begins to brew in the 4 men as they wonder if someone has figured out the truth. When the 4 men begin to be picked off one by one, they begin to second-guess themselves and attempt to figure out if it's someone who knows, or if it's the spirit of Bubba coming back to get revenge. And it does a great job keeping you guessing right up till the end.
Harlan,
What now?
have you started planting?
What?
I said, have you started planting?
What's the matter with you? Can't you see I'm busy? You ever see me planting this time of year?
Oh, no.
Well, why do you ask a lame-brained thing like that?
Well, I just thought it's kind of strange. I mean, if you're not planting, why would you put up the scarecrow?
For a made-for-TV horror movie from the 1980s, this film is shockingly well crafted. With it essentially being a killer scarecrow movie, this film could have easily played into the horror slasher tropes of that period. But Dark Night of the Scarecrow is more of a less is more kind of horror film, taking its time to build tension and suspense and atmosphere. Much of this can be credited to the film's score by Glenn Paxton, of which the film opens immediately, instantly giving us the viewers a sense of the film's tone and mood. It's something that I never forgot since the first time I watched it. You really get a sense when watching that a lot of effort went into it, not relying on more traditional horror tropes, with there hardly being any jump scares or blood. Perhaps the reasoning for this could be placed in the fact that it was a made-for-TV movie in a time when this kind of thing was considered unacceptable to be shown on television. But even if this is the case, it shows that limitations can create more creativity. In this case, create a more effective and memorable horror film. For many years this movie has gone unnoticed by many, but in recent years it has gained a cult following. Just recently, the original writer of the film wrote and directed and produced a sequel, of which I've heard nothing but bad things about. But I say that as someone who hasn't seen the film myself. But I will say, though I adore the original film, the idea of a sequel seems very unnecessary. Dark Night of the Scarecrow is nowadays pretty readily available, and you can currently watch the entire movie for free on YouTube. So if you've never seen it, I highly recommend seeking this one out. Perfectly suited viewing for the Halloween season.